Hello good people of YouTube, Mountbatten here with my final impressions video on the French Tier 8 battleship Richelieu. I know it's been a while since the ship came out and this final impressions video is a bit overdue, but I haven't really been playing it a lot since I unlocked the Alsace and the Republic. Anyway, I'm on a flanking maneuver here, originally just by all myself, but then the team kind of lemmings this way, but this is a very good clip of the up and down of Richelieu's main battery guns. Okay, look, there are three cruisers in front of me: a Flint, a Hindenburg, and not a Hindenburg, whatever the Tier 8 German cruiser is, and I think another American cruiser. There's the Queen Elizabeth. Yep, there's the two cruisers. Perfectly broadside, close range. One pin, two over pin, barely does any damage to it. That should have been a dead Prince Eugen, in my opinion. But because of the Richelieu's velocity, it was just a bunch of overpins. That's the main downside of these guns. They just overpin cruisers unless you get them bow on or at an angle. Okay, so here's a situation. Words are hard. Here's a situation I'm in. There's a Queen Elizabeth there. North Carolina coming around the corner. So I get my bow pointed toward the Queen Elizabeth, and I turn my turrets toward the North Carolina because he's not paying that much attention to me. And look at that broadside he's giving me. And rightfully so, he gets Citadel. Ooh, that was a big old chunk of health gone. So the Queen Elizabeth, I know I can outrun her guns simply because I think besides the Yamato, she has the slowest gun rotation in the game. So not really big of a threat to me, and he's just spamming HE at me, so he won't be doing that much damage. He's not a Lion or a Conqueror. And look at that broadside North Carolina's giving to me, and there goes, I think that was almost 30,000 health right there. These guns are amazing at piercing battleship citadels, particularly the North Carolinas, as you'll see in the remainder of this video. So I tell my secondaries to slaughter the Queen Elizabeth. They're not really slaughtered. These secondaries aren't like Alsace or Republic level. It's got a fair amount for a Tier 8 that isn't, German. And they can make a battleship's life pretty hard with the amount of fires they start. And as you'll see later, they're not that easy on destroyers either. So what I'm doing now is I'm trying to keep my bow face toward the North Carolina, since she does have the bigger guns than the Queen Elizabeth, and the Queen Elizabeth is probably still trying to rotate her turrets around. And then another cruiser pops up, but I can completely ignore it because I know I'm just going to overpin it and not really do much to it. Yeah, that all bounced. I honestly wasn't expecting that to happen. I thought with the velocity of the shells it would have enough oomph to get through, but I do set it on fire. So that's burning away right now. The Queen Elizabeth is just got set on fire. Those miss. The ship is quite maneuverable, so you will be dodging a lot of shells if you... Ooh, look at that hit. I'm so low on health. If I had a recording audio, you would have heard me just mashing the T button, and I incapacitated his rear turret, so I'm in no danger of losing health, so I can open up a little bit. And yeah, he burns out. Okay, so now I have no turrets in the back, so it's just secondary shooting at the Queen Elizabeth. And I'm trying to get my turrets round back on the Queen Elizabeth. And is that Prince Eugen again? I don't know, I'm just ignoring him because I can't do any substantial amount of damage to him. And there I was like, well, should I have my secondary shoot at him? Like, nah, I need to get that Queen Elizabeth out because she's the main threat right now. And I have popped my engine boost, and at this moment I wasn't paying attention to where I was going on the map, so I don't realize I'm just like steaming full force for the map border. Anyway, Queen Elizabeth starts to open up, give me a better view of a broadside. I'll line up the shot. Skadoosh. I know Citadel, but I do a pretty fair amount of damage, and man, look how low her health is right now. And then I realized I just ran into the map border. Yeah. Yep. But look at this. Okay, they run out, but if they hadn't run out, I'm pretty sure I still would have dodged most of them. And here comes the Queen Elizabeth's AP, and I die. 115k damage done. Pretty good run. Alright, new game. Now, the Richelieu isn't much of a sniper because of the dispersion, as you'll see here. Look at that. Look how far they fly apart. But when they do hit at range, it's pretty satisfying. I get another North Carolina. What's that over there? The Kerr first and whatnot. And yeah, another Citadel. These guns are so good at going through American battleship Citadel. Okay, this is really too much a clip with the Richelieu, but about that line. Look, he just took 3 torpedoes, right? He's down to 600 something health. I'm like, oh, okay, I don't have to worry about him. There's a mostly full health Montana right there. He's going to delete him. Turn away. And I was laying up shoving the Kerr first. I'm like, wait, his health was at how low? And I look back, and the Law Hill is just bringing that lion back from the dead from 600 health. And of course, he's just HE spamming everything. Let's take a shot at him. He's pretty broadside. And, you know, of course, no Citadel because it's a lion, and the Lion and Conqueror Citadels. I'm pretty sure they're on most top 10 mythical creature videos because they're so rare. But anyway, man, look at that thing. That Montana was at 2/3 health. And, man, he just burned the crap out of that Montana. He's still alive. And I take a shot at him, but I think the Montana actually got him. Then a couple seconds later, the Montana gets sunk too. Another North Carolina. Guess what happens? Actually, it doesn't because the Richelieu does have pretty funky dispersion from time to time. You saw it was that big old circle rather than the nice flat lines. And this is a bit of a really derpy moment. Well, not really derpy, I guess it's you'll see. Okay, so that Gearing just launched torpedoes behind the Iowa because there is a Minotaur in that smoke. And, you know, the Iowa does what he can, but he does take 1 torpedo. And then the Gearing calls the Iowa a retard for it in chat. It's like, dude, don't launch torps behind your teammates. That's DD 101 from what I understand. Anyway, long story short, we won that game, did 92,000 damage. Okay, so the Richelieu, it has God tier AA, and no, this isn't Richelieu playing in the background, this is just a pretty cool Alsace clip, because I used all my Richelieu clips for this video. Anyway, Richelieu has God tier AA. Unfortunately, when I was recording, there was no carriers in the match, so take that, do with that as you wish. Secondaries, they're pretty good for tier 8. They're not German, but it's got enough to bring the pain on destroyers and cruisers. And they do start fires quite a bit, I find. Main guns, great velocity, great penetration. You will be overpinning cruisers a lot. If they're angled or bow onto you, you might get some good pins on them. Other than that, you may want to stick to just shooting battleships. I mean, don't get me wrong, if there's like a cruiser dead in front of you, please shoot at it. Armor, 32mm all around. You need to roll with your teammates so the enemy teams has other things to shoot at besides you. Because if they focus fire on you, you will go down. Especially with the amount of HE spam going on right now with the British battleships, it hurts a lot. Maneuverability, ship's pretty maneuverable with the speed boost. You will juke most battleship fire, and you can get some pretty good torpedo beats going on. Anything else? Yeah, so overall, it's an okay ship. You know, since it's a tech line ship, if it was like a premium, I would say it's kind of meh. But being a tech line ship and it's free, it's pretty decent. There's a bit of a learning curve when you get to it. It's kind of weird because the French line kind of doesn't really train you for it, because all of the other ships don't have the 2 turrets in front of the superstructure dealio. Oh, in this clip right here, my second turret is knocked out. I only have turrets 1 and 3 doing the drive-by on the Missouri. Boop! 4 citadels. Every single shot from the 3rd turret was a citadel hit on the Missouri. Anyway, yeah, it's a pretty good ship. It's the reward for it. You know, the Alsace is definitely worth the grind. As you can see in the clip, I was down a turret and still took out a full health Missouri. Yeah, Alsace totally worth the grind. If you don't like the Richelieu, just stick with it, because the Alsace is totally worth it. So to play it, roll with your team, stay near the islands, don't go out on the open water. You will be focus fired to death. Don't share your broadsides. It's paper. You're going to get citadeled by pretty much every single battleship you run across. If you've played the Dunkirk, you know what to expect from the Richelieu, because it's still roided up Dunkirk, but with more AA and secondaries. So yeah, if you like the video, drop a like, leave a comment, and subscribe. We are at 98 subscribers at the recording of this video. That's just 2 more needed to do the 100 subscriber live stream. And again, for those of you that don't know, I'm going to set up a training room. We are going to separate everyone to 2 teams, me on one team, either Matt or Italia on the other team, and we are going to just have some fun. And that'll be this Thursday, 7 p.m. US Central Time. If we get to 100 by Thursday, by 7 p.m., it will be this Thursday. If not, it will be next Thursday, because I'm pretty sure we'll be at 100 then. 7 p.m. US Central Time. And before it happens, I'll put up a video 2 hours before, and then an hour before, and yeah, just kind of a reminder. And yeah, we'll just set up a training room, go to 2 teams, have a bunch of fun. So that's what's coming up, and thank you all for watching, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.